Let me show you what I've got done already on this canvas. Now, this was an old practice canvas. You can vaguely make out the indication of a mountain. It was in portrait, and it didn't go right. So it happens, folks. It happens. So I scraped off all the paint, took a little bit of oil, and rubbed it all in. And it got this lovely looking tan colour. Now I allowed that to dry completely, nice and dry. All this. I thought today we'd paint a weeping willow. Every artist has painted a weeping willow in the past by a watercourse. I've done a few in the past as well. And I thought this lovely looking tan colour would give it a nice background material. And where the mountain was, we can put a nice big tree. So we're going to use this to our advantage. But before we do start painting, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more content. Happy days. Let's crack on with the painting. Right, so I'm going to take some, get rid of that air. Yeah. I'm going to take some sap green and mix it into this bluey white colour. Okay, and I'm going to add a touch of yellow ochre to that as well. Okay, so we've got a nice pale greeny colour. And we're going to use this to just put some delicate little trees up here. Okay, we're not going to see much. Just pick up some of that blue, that's alright as well. Okay, not going to see much. There we go. Leave it marbled as well, so we get a variant of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 1-inch brush, pretty dry and clean. Again, this canvas is pretty dry as well, so depending on how this goes, I may need to put a little bit of linseed oil on. Okay, I want a lighter spot there, so we're going to just work his way around this area there. You may not be able to pick them out. I just want them very gentle in the background. Okay, just tap in some little tree shapes, just like that. I've done a little loose sketch of where the major tree will be, so we'll just work around that, and we'll vary these colours as well as we go. For okay, just work it in a bit more. Put it on that side, we'll pop it on this side just for balance. Just there, like that. Happy days, yeah, happy days. Blender brush, okay? I'm just gonna tap onto this and diffuse everything. Okay, we've got some indications of some greens, some different leaves there. I don't want to lose it fully, but I just want to just diffuse everything a little bit. Right, so I've just dipped the brush into a little bit of linseed oil there, just to thin some of this down and maybe grab a little bit more of the blue. So we need to work on some water. We will put a bank in there as well at some point, but I just want to see how this goes. I'm just going to just pull with this again. This is just going to be a bit of a watery reflection. I don't want it too green. There's going to be plenty of green there, just reflections there and there. I've got a tiny bit of linseed oil in that, so now we can sort of like blend a little bit of this colour into the watercourse. Going around the tree, but if we go onto the tree, that's no problem. We can just wipe it off. There we go, like that. Now we can take a little bit of the dark greens. Same brush. Don't really care. Maybe grab a bit of the Van Dyke brown in that as well. Mix up the colours. And then I'll pull this down. See how that looks. More there. Changing the colours as we go along. Stop here because I'm going to put some lighter colours in. I'll come to this side. Go straight down. Do that. Yeah. We'll go across, but we'll continually work with this water. We'll get it just about right. So all I'm doing here is very gently, just touching on with a little flat brush. This is 3/4 flat, and just applying some little glows and twinkles in the water in this light area as well. And you can see I put a little bit of a blue colour on there as well. I'm just working this in, and then I take a step back and see what it looks like and where they need to be. And what I've got is the same brush that I've got the greens with. And just go gently across and just tease them into the painting. I don't want it jumping out at you. I want it very, very subtle, very very diluted basically. Remember, this is not the star of the show. This big tree will be the star of the show. So got to keep doing that. So working backwards and forwards, adding on. It's a bit of pale blue. Maybe go into a little bit more of the whites there. So we're getting different colours as well. So we've gone from dark blues all the way through to white. Of course, it won't stay white as soon as we hit the canvas because we put the greeny colours down there. It won't change colour. So just add them in, sprinkle them about. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to stipple on just a little bit of blue up here. Not too much, just a little bit every now and again. And again, I'll knock this back with a blender a little bit as well. But we've got a little bit of blue tint into the water, so we've got to have something blue up in the sky, yeah? So just a little bit every now and again. Just there, just using the corner of this flat brush. Then you don't have to paint big blobs of blue, just a little bit. You know, just as the sky's just showing through maybe a little bit there. Turn it over, get a little bit more paint on the other side of the brush, just there like that. Just like that. Add another little effect, maybe there's a little touch of the sky showing through there as well. Going to some of the brown, so this is burnt umber, burnt sienna. Just like that. Really load the brush up like so. And grab a touch of black as well in there. More black. Okay. And this is where the sketches were painted there. So that's where we'll pop our willow tree. So we'll go down there like so. This is nice and dry, this canvas, so this will go on quite awkwardly. We're going to have to really push it in. In fact, probably change brushes in a moment. Something a little bit more scrubbier and firmer. But it's a start, isn't it? And it's a good way to just, even though I've loaded the paint into the brush like this, it'll take off all the paint that's already on there and I have to wash it all out. You know, cheating in a way. Now, where's this big arm start and finish? Across there, I think it comes up there like that, like so, and then down like that. So with some sap green and a touch of umber mixed in there, and tap the fan brush just to splay the bristles apart. I'm just going to come up in here and just touch down and just drop in some of these leaves. Okay, we're just going to plow, maybe a bit of a wrong word. These are the ones that are at the other side of the tree. We're going to put some in the foreground as well. We're going to vary the colours as well. And as less paint gets on the brush, the more delicate they'll look as well. Maybe fetch it down to the water's edge. Maybe a little bit more on this side. There we go. So I'm just going to put these in now. Like that. And when we've got these in place, we can put sticks and twigs and all sorts in there. But we don't want all the same colour. That's most important. We want some that are lit up by the light, some that are in shadow as well. So this could take a while. Well worth it. So with a fan brush loaded up and splayed apart, just gently tap in some of these leafy effects, and they really do look like faraway leaves on the other side of the tree. Now don't worry about painting over the tree itself, because we're going to come back and plough some paint onto the tree trunks and give it that bark effect. But this just really works. Just tap in, following the shape of what a weeping willow will look like, and you'll get all these lovely, nice leafy effects. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at all the different colours that are on this canvas now. All these different shades of greens and stuff. I still haven't worked on any of these branches or bark or anything like that. Now I'm adding some. I've gone lighter down where the light source is, near this water source, and we're getting darker towards the edge, and where there'll be shadows inside the canopy as well. So we're just gonna keep adding them on. You know, don't have to go mental. I mean, look at the colour of the greens on the palette. We're getting all sorts of different colours there. That's pretty dark there, but maybe it's needed, and just drag it across. I like that, it comes down, so it's pushing this back. Now we will work on these eventually. I don't think I've forgot them and left them like that. We will work on these eventually. I just want some major leaves, branches just down here. Just push it back. It's pointless putting it all on. So I try and paint over the top of it. Might as well just try and paint around some of these leaves. It's going to be a little tricky, but so we've got to test ourselves every day, haven't we? So why not? Why not test ourselves with a big old willow tree? There we go. That's nice there as well. All right, so with a lot of that background material in place now, I've taken both browns, bit of black, maybe touch of the ochre, nice browny colour, filbert brush, and we're going to work on the trunk now. It's going to have a little bit of light at this side, maybe a little bit of backlit light there as well, but it's going to generally be a bit dark. So what I'm going to do is just gently just graze with this filbert brush. Now you could do this with a fan brush as well, or just grazing the canvas, take it down. Probably work on the grass before finishing off that root, and then there might be another root just somewhere around here, I don't know. Work on this. There we go. Probably want a bit of black in there, so let's grab a bit of black. Deep shadow. Deep shadow. And it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of blue every now and again as well. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit of that white. Just a touch of this white, whatever mucky colour we've got going as well. Okay, and then we can just graze the side. I just do this over here. Graze the side of this. Get a little bit of an highlight. Now we don't want much because the back part of this tree is going to be in some kind of shadow. Don't want to go too crazy with the highlights. And some of these branches might get a bit of light. Not much. Not much. Up there as well. And the colours we've got on the brush, crazy. Crazy stuff. Just a little bit of reflected light, a little bit of blue, cool this side of the tree down. Okay, just there. And that tree looks pretty, maybe a bit up here, maybe. No, looks pretty nice. Okay, we still need to do the foreground foliage, and we need to put some grass down here. So I think we'll do that now. I want to do that, get the canvas covered. So the brushes that, whatever colour these are, the brushes that we've got, the colours that I measured up there, we're just going to scrub some grasses in. I want some yellows, I think, where the light source is, just about there. This is why we haven't finished the roots off yet, because we're going to try and get some grasses going just under here. And I want to plough lots of paint on, lots and lots of paint. I love this technique for making grass. Okay, so don't worry about the roots. We'll get around to them shortly. Really pop some grassy colours on, yellows. For a bit there, maybe there's a little tiny bit showing through that tree. And if we mess up his bark a little bit, we can cope with that. Might have to grow the tree. Okay, have a bit of sap green as well. Don't clean the brush. Whatever colours are in the brush, that's what we'll have. We'll have a mixture of all different colours up here. So sap greens, get some browns, get some blacks. Really just plough it on, tap it on. Yeah. Then come back here, we'll get some of the browns involved. There's going to be some shadow, so maybe a bit of blue as well. A bit more of the greens going into that muddy mess. Muddy mess. Okay, that brown as well. I like that brown. Look at it, it's just coming alive. Just push up. Clean the brush as we go along. Use a good firm fan brush. There we go. Again, don't worry about any of the roots, or we'll put some stones in a bush and things like that there, just to balance the painting out. Oh, looks perfect. Like the brush, keep going, keep going, keep going. All the tree in place and stuff. We can start working on some foliage of the foreground stuff. So I've taken black. Sat great. Look at all the colours and mess there. Now that's a palette that's seen some action. Okay, I thinned it out slightly, but not too much. You know, but a couple of drops of linseed oil on this chisel edge brush. It's really nice for this sort of stuff. Okay, so let's start where we go. We'll go down. Okay, just tap on just like we would do with the fan brush. Bring it down right to where we want it, about there. Okay, let's paint on the brush. Gets a little bit lighter towards the base, and then all we're going to do is just touch on the side, just like this. Okay, like that. We're going to create these lovely leafy effects. And this one looks like it's in shadow. It's nice. Okay, and we'll carry on doing this. Different colours, so we'll go into the greens at some point. Bring it down over the tree trunk. Tap, 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 tap. Where you want it to finish, just finish it wherever you need it to be. And then just give it a couple of little leaves. Just like that. Okay. And then, back, put a stem on this if we need to. Right, so this is all I'm going to do now. Quite repetitive, very, very stress relieving, if that's a word. We'll put a dark one right across there, a bit more paint. Just across there, that'll really pop against that background. Yeah, stuff like that. And like that, and then just a couple of little leaves just creeping off. So very little paint. Just let it come off like that. Follow the angles of what this branch will look like. Go over the bark. Yeah, brilliant. So that's all I'm going to do for the next, might take me 10, 15 minutes to do this. Oh, we're in no rush, folks, are we? We're in no rush. Okay, just a few little yellow leaves on the highlight side, and wow, that is some impressive willow. Okay, so I think we're going to leave that tree as it is now, and I put a few little stones just down here in the just to break up that grassy part, really, and one maybe there. Just going to take a little bit of a rag. Okay, grab the rag. Come on, from here, and just tap on here. Just dampen that off. Dry it off a little bit. These corners could put a bit of grass, some grass elements. Look at the paint coming off. Look at all the oil that we're getting rid of. Okay, so what I did, I have got what I did is I've taken some linseed oil and just mixed it with all the different greens that I have on the palette now. I'm using this modified liner brush that's basically got 2 or 3 airs. And let's bring you close to the canvas. Okay, so down here, I'm just going to put some grass that's down here, some thicker grasses. Now I'm going to have to keep reloading the brush. Now I like to paint the grasses, pointing towards the center of the painting, but you don't want every single blade of grass go in the same direction. Okay, so turn them, put some dark ones in there, put some greener ones in there until we get a nice grassy effect. Okay, it's very short, this brush, and it's got very little bristles on, but give it a bit of time, it creates lots of nice little grasses like this. Look at that. Just flicking out your brush, go over the stone, thin oil, just like so. I'm just making up a thin pinky little colour just here. Okay, and so gently every now and again I'm just going to put a little bit of a flower or two just out in the foreground, just on a couple of these, a couple over here, just to break it all up, a little something extra. Loose flowers, change the flavour of the flower as well, add a bit more of blue to it just to shadow it off a little bit. We might put 1 or 2 just up here, like this. There we go. So just a little bit of extra detail goes a long way. Like so. We're going to 2 more over on this side, and I think we're about finished. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. So if you attempt this one, please tag me in a picture on Facebook or one of my other social medias. They're down in the description. If you like this video, give me a big old thumbs up. Leave me a nice comment as well, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. But until next time, you guys take care of yourself. Stay safe. Happy days. Bye now.